I don't know if that thing is working. You just have to push the button on the screen. I didn't touch that. I tried it, didn't do anything. Sure. You could probably just hit the arrow on the screen on the computer.
You want me to advance the slides for you? If my clicker's not working, you can
Here.
just click on here.
That was, yeah.
Hold on.
They got the thing at the bottom, so it's slow.
So welcome, everyone. We are the Night Council, and we were formed by, of course, the night staff to have a voice for night nurses. Our mission was to bring a valuable voice to our organization from the night staff and enhance night staff-specific patient and staff experiences, including quiet at night. When we first started, I wanted to acknowledge Enid and Rebecca Sutherland. They were both part of our night council from the very beginning, and they did a lot of enhancement for us, for improvement of quiet at night, and also for our night staff to work with each other. We had many accomplishments with the night staff, and our quiet at night is to increase patient satisfaction. We've done a lot with it, and we're going to try to explain it all to you. So our agenda is,
Why is quiet at night important? We have a patient story. We have challenges to promoting a quiet hospital environment, quiet at night protocol, our outcomes, and our sustainability plan, and then if we have time, we'll have time, we're going to make time for Q&A at the end. Who's doing on where to go? Go Sue.
this is Susan Albano. She is one of our night council representatives, and she is on short stay.
Now, anyone who's taken a Psych 101 course has seen Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And basically what it says is you need to fulfill each level before you can move up to the next level. And the most basic level is the physiological needs, and in that is sleep. Sleep is one of the most important physiological needs in order to work up towards self-actualization. It says research shows, regardless of the cause and consequence of sleep disturbance and fatigue include diminished physical and cognitive functioning, mood instability, emotional distress, and amplification of current symptoms. Just think of after working a night shift, how do you feel? Can you think clearly? Do you really want to deal with anything else? You just want to go home and go to sleep. Well, a lot of the patients we have been here all day long, haven't had any rest. And we're waking them up every couple hours all night long. And then they're expected to function the next day. And it doesn't work very well. All right, Florence Nightingale, over 150 years ago, she identified noise as a risk factor. Florence wrote, necessary noise is that which damages the patient. Unnecessary noise is the cruelest absence of care. A primary task of nursing, according to Florence Nightingale, was the control over the patient's environment. So clinical nurses play an essential role in encouraging a culture of quiet by modeling quiet behaviors.
Hi everyone, I'm Susanna De Almeida. I'm one of the nursing directors here, also a member of the Night Council. So our patients share with us their experience in the hospital, particularly at night, and noise. You can see two patient partners have made some comments, and these are directly from our patients' experience, which is all of our patients get HCAP surveys at home. And these are some quotes, but we are very fortunate today to have two patients. One is Vivian Cord, who's going to share her story when she was a patient here in our hospital in 5 South, and I believe Diane is in RAP. So welcome, Vivian, to our nursing grand round, and please share your story.
Like this. I've worked it all up so I can read it in letters. And that's part of my story, because that's my significant other who made that complaint. My hair's falling down. Can't have that. Wait a minute. I'll leave it as a ponytail. All right.
Looking good.
Yeah, okay. As you said, I'm Vivian Cord, and I'm a member of the Patient Family Council at Chappaqua Crossing, where I've been going to the cardiac rehab gym since 2016 when I had a stent put in. If you're not familiar with Chappaqua Crossings cardiac rehab, it's really like the movie Cocoon, if you remember it. We all enter old, rickety people, and then we start flirting, and laughing and talking, and Pong is like the social director, much more than anything else. He never has a smile off his face. He's our cheerleader, he's wonderful. As far as the hospital is concerned, I'm a frequent flyer.
You're in the right place, Diane.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Sure.
And I would do anything to make this hospital even better than, I don't think it needs much improvement. I can get here in 12 minutes. I wouldn't move any other place because 12 minutes is about my limit when I'm in rapid AFib. I was coming here about every 2 weeks for about 3 years. Then I decided I would break a few vertebrae just to distract me from my work. We got so used to coming here. I have my bag packed at home with everything that I need and a lot of things I cheat on. And Ed just drops me at the emergency room door. And the kid goes home. We know I'm in good hands, and there's no reason to hold my hand. I was put on Sotalol in about 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago, and I haven't been in AFib since. So it's I had many overnight stays, and I was basically on 4 South. Let's see here. I don't really need to read this. One of the nicest things was every time I came back, which was so often, wonderful nurses recognized me, and I was welcomed, and I felt like it was family. And I can't say anything bad about any nurses in this hospital. They're magnificent. What I experienced in 4 South on each and every occasion was dragging the furniture over my bed. And it was horrible, and it would be throughout the entire night, 2, 3 in the morning. And when I asked a nurse on one occasion what it was, she said they were doing construction. Now that seems hardly possible. Year after year, 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I still want to know what it is. On one occasion, I was taken down for x-rays in a wheelchair. And I said, just take me up to the 5th floor so I could see what's going on over my head. And I think what I saw was a room without a bed, you know, but you have to have other people complaining about it because it was really the #1 complaint that I had. Then I had the instance, of course, which you were talking about, the nurse's station where everyone is chatting and giggling and trying to keep each other awake. Yes, there are very heavy doors that we can close, but for me in particular, I feel comfortable with my door open. There was a woman across from me who had dementia. She was screaming at night, help me, help me. On occasions the nurses didn't come and I would call and I said, this woman needs help. Next to me was somebody who had had surgery and was in bad shape. Her door couldn't be shut. So while I could have shut my door, I felt better leaving it open. And I felt that the response that I did get from the nurse at the time was, well, we've got to keep each other awake. And I thought, you know, that doesn't seem appropriate at all. Another suggestion, although it's not noise related, is the computer screens, the monitors are so bright. You don't need those at night, and unless you put a mask on, which I've done, you can't sleep with those things on. So I would suggest that you turn those down. Boy, I'm doing very well for a memory here. My significant other, Ed, was in for, he had a kidney removed. And there was a party over his room. And while I don't think that had anything to do with nurses, I think that was more patient-related. Something like that, I think, shouldn't be allowed, within reason, all right? And he was also across from a supply room, and that door was banging constantly, and he was very uncomfortable over that. Okay, I did that.
I told you guys you were in for a treat.
Yeah.
It's all legitimate though.
Oh,
Thank you.
The thing is, I only have really positive memories from this hospital. And I wrote it down so I wouldn't get it wrong. But without you nurses, there would be no caring in the word care. And I mean that from my heart. You're to be congratulated, it's a calling. And I don't know, I think you sort of all levitate. So these are minor. And they're not nurse-related necessarily. Whatever that scraping is, maybe something totally unrelated to what is going on. But it's nevertheless something that you should address, because that happened year in and year out. So what makes that noise? Now tell me, I want something as a report.
It's probably the footstool.
Sleeper chair.
The
Sleeper
footstool,
chair.
the
What's
sleeper
sleeper
chair.
chairs?
So there's chairs with stools, and they might, to get them out, you have to drag them out. The sleeper chairs that we have are very heavy, and the foot, in order to extend them out, they're on wheels.
So is that
And it-
part of the patient's room?
You know, they have to
It's
get
a
brought
family, yeah.
into the room
Family member when they're
if a family member is staying overnight.
So
So
somebody,
in order,
Always like over my one room?
and what we do for ghosts in the hospital. So it could be the ghost that lives in the, we have ghosts in the hospital.
oh, thanks for that, I appreciate that.
Yeah. Totally do.
Now I've got another
This
Yeah.
is right over my head.
Yeah.
We'll talk about
But it could, but those are possibilities, I don't know for you,
Yeah.
but
I
it
can't
could
believe you
happen.
don't have the answer from me yet. Because I undoubtedly am not the only one that has complained.
Oh, no.
No, you're not.
Yeah, it's some
It's-
form of equipment, but you'll hear about some of the protocols that we put into place that will minimize that noise between our night hours.
It would be great if we
Yeah,
could
but
talk
it's-
about it. I'm sure that's not-
Actually, we had Barbara, we took the
All right, are you?
Thanks, Vivian.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I am,
Come on.
I am. If
Well,
I
you
can
wanna
sit
sit?
down, yeah, I've got balance issues, so I prefer to sit
Well,
down.
welcome. We'd love to hear your experience.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I agree with Vivian, I have had nothing but wonderful nursing care in this hospital. And I've been here on almost every floor, for many times I visited this hospital. And that's what I wanted to say. But my experience is about the night noise. I had a situation where, I'm sorry, if I get
Do you need water?
no, I'm okay. I had been had open heart surgery and had been in a hospital in Las Vegas for a month, and then came back home, and it was November 7th. I spiked a fever, came into the emergency room, and I was in the hospital for a few more days on IV antibiotics. And at night, that first night that I was here, I mean, I had a hell of a time for that past month. So I come into the hospital, and there was chatter around the nurse's station, laughing. And I believe this was something like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I could not get to sleep. And, you know, I understand that you do offer the masks and the aromatherapy and everything else, but in that situation, I could not fall asleep. And then sometime shortly after I finally did, which I think was around 5 o'clock in the morning, the nurses come in for blood and everything else and wake me up. So that's really the only negative experience that I have had here. as I said, I've been here many times. There was a poster downstairs in the emergency room with all the nurses around me that was up for a while. And it's just something that, you know, be more cognizant of the fact that people that are here because they're sick, you know. And, you know, so they really do need their rest. And that's really it.
Thank you.
Thank
you. Thank you both for sharing. So,
Can you leave now?
aren't you gonna stay for the rest of the presentation?
We'd love to have you stay,
Okay,
just so
that's
that
all
you
I
can
wanted
hear.
to
If
know. I
you'd
thought
like.
you might want us to leave.
No, no.
You're our partners. You're our partners.
Employee here.
So our patient experience, besides when we round on our patients and when we're lucky enough to have our patients share our stories, we often hear our voice of our patients through our HCAHPS surveys. So just a little bit of information, what are HCAHPS? HCAHPS are the perception of care we provide. The patients rate us through our HCAHPS, these surveys.